So welcome back to Electric Vehicles channel, my dear friends. I am Krishna Chaitanya Mandela and I am here with the CEO and CTO of Boom Motors, Mr. Anirudh and Mr. Vinod. So firstly, thanks for having us with the Electric Vehicles channel.
No, thank you for coming.
I will be very honest with you and I will start asking one question. Most of the EV startups in India claims to have 100% made in India products. And even your startup claimed to have your product, the Boom Corvette,
Yes.
is a 100% made in India vehicle. But is the motor and controller made in India, or are you simply sourcing with local dealers for the spare parts, or you indigenously designed these spare parts or imported these spare parts and localized here?
So to begin with, to be honest, we took inspiration from existing designs, and then we designed our own motor here locally. But what we are doing now is we are innovating on that, and basically we are putting some patent around next generation motors, which will give us extremely high efficiency advantage and can be cross utilized across multiple vehicles. So that's an IP that we are working on. But right now already motor controller, all these are indigenous. But our truly, where our IP is going to come in is going to reflect in the motors that we're going to come out with in the next 6 months or so.
How will you justify that tag 100% made in India?
Always you have to import at least some of them from outside. Like for example, the magnets, even some of the rotor parts are difficult to get in India. But we are localizing that supply chain as well. Apart from magnets, most of the other things we are able to localize in India. That is the only component where we still have some dependency on outside of India sources.
If you see the current scenario right now, petrol prices are fuming. And EV industry is booming up. So why can't our viewers can assume that the main motto of Boom Motors is to catch the EV industry boom?
So we started, I think, even before this whole petrol and this EV boom started, because we started our company now 2 years ago. We have been in product development since. We were fortunate that over the last 6 months or so, especially if you see, or 1 year, petrol prices have gone from 80 to beyond 100, and then the additional FAME subsidy and so on. The timing is actually almost like God given for us. But this was not our intent actually. I mean, we started the company with the goal that we felt that India is in need of EVs more for social reasons than anything else. We see that I went to the US at a young age. Back in 2006 I went to US. Every year I used to return to India and I used to feel that the amount of pollution is just increasing year on year. And I was living in Bangalore, and the climate change also is very apparent since when I left, and then every year I used to come back. So the health and GDP impact on India of pollution is quite high, and I think if it's left undone, then if nobody takes action, I think it will become a serious issue. So that is kind of one of the driving factors we came. And also EV makes sense in terms of economics, performance, everything. We feel it's a superior, it's a next platform shift, like how you go from film camera to digital camera. It's an eventuality that's going to happen. But somehow in India we felt like the adoption was not there. And if we do the right things, then we can get there. So that's.
I think I have seen the design of Boom Motors Corvette. So the viewers are thinking that you have compromised on the design. What do you feel about it?
I will not say it's a compromise on design. It's a design over function, and the vehicle is naturally rugged, designed for rugged use, and which is the most widely accepted use case in India, in a country like India. So our vehicle is suited both for city as well as rural, and there is a shortage of that kind of vehicle in our market, particularly in electric. I don't see any other vehicle that is as rugged as ours. So there's a gap, and we filled it.
So just a moment, you said there is no other vehicle like this. And I would like to give few of the examples. There is a vehicle called Hyna M1 and Quanta, and Quanta from Graviton Motors, and there is one more vehicle led by some IIT graduates. It is called Hope. So don't you treat these vehicles as your competitors?
No, we don't treat, because there's a way too much difference between these vehicles and what.
Actually, I think I don't know enough about the bikes also to comment. So, but we know about our bike and what bikes are at least selling in mass scale today. And based on what we are seeing, I think we have a unique.
Okay, just a moment ago you mentioned like you are a 2-year-old startup. So my next question to you is, why should someone believe in Boom Motors, a 2-year-old startup?
I mean, why should anybody believe in anything? I guess, right? There is a starting point to everything. I think our products speak for themselves. Definitely, we have an amazing product. We have put it through extensive amount of testing. Basically, the background from which we come is very strong in validation. So basically, and we have a strong OEM as well as validation background. We are associated with a company called Microcon, which has been in automotive validation for the past 40 years or so. So they test various, either full vehicles or components of the vehicle or whatever it is. So when we started our company, we wanted to really make sure that we have something which is very durable, long lasting, which gives great value to the customers. So our whole, the grounds up engineering and the mindset driven towards validation is basically what is resulting in this product. Beyond that, we know our work. I think once the product is out there, that's going to.
And again, you mentioned like why should someone believe at the first case, right? I will just answer you that question. Like if you see the current electric vehicle scenario, even the top manufacturers are struggling to give proper spare parts and service. Yes. And you said you are a 2-year-old startup. Correct. On that particular reason, what is your action plan, and will you believe that there is a spare parts issue going on in the EV industry, and how come your startup is going to overcome that?
I think that's just a matter of planning first. So what we do is we have this typical mean time between failure. We collect the data. So all of our vehicles have a IoT platform which is continuously collecting data, and we are continuously collecting data on what are the kind of whether regular wear and tear or basically accident maintenance related, what are the highest parts which are requiring replacement. So based on that data, we stock sufficient amount of spare parts so that that's available. So I think it's just a matter of data collection and planning, which we have basically anticipated and planned for.
So coming to electric vehicle industry, do you think the FAME 2 scheme subsidy is reaching the end user, or the electric vehicle manufacturer enjoying the benefits?
See, basically the subsidy is to aid penetration of electric vehicle. Okay, penetration comes with better pricing. So it depends on the manufacturer, and it depends on what they are looking for. And if they are giving the vehicle at acceptable pricing for the customer, and the customer is not worried about what government is offering as a subsidy.
My point is they are providing subsidy to reduce the pricing.
Yes.
But are the manufacturer really doing that, and is the benefit is reaching to the end user?
Yeah, definitely it is so.
I believe so, yes, definitely. Because if not for the subsidy, the end user would have to pay a higher price. Much higher price. I don't think most manufacturers have the type of margins to live without the subsidy today. So definitely it has the.
So are you agreeing that the money is reaching to the end user?
Yes, definitely it will boost the demand for the market. So because manufacturers are able to offer it at a lower price, customer gets the benefit. We're able to boost the demand.
So coming to your vehicle, Corvette. Yes. I think your vehicle also approved because it is a made in India product and it is approved under FAME 2 scheme subsidies. And based on the battery capacity of 2 kWh, you get a 40,000 rupees of subsidy, which means
30,000.
Okay, 30,000 rupees of subsidy, which means the battery cost is almost zero for you.
Not true actually. The battery cost is more than the subsidy amount.
Okay, take for another 10,000 rupees. Okay. Yes. So in that case, do you think your Corvette vehicle is worth of 76,000 rupees?
Sorry, I didn't catch your question.
In that case, you mentioned like the battery pack is almost free of cost for you. Like,
no, we didn't mention that. It's more than subsidy.
It's more than subsidy.
More than subsidy. Yeah. But still the pricing is around 75,000 rupees, right? Plus 10,000 rupees you mentioned. Correct. So is it worth of 85,000 rupees?
10,000 rupees is the number you quoted. We didn't mention it is 10,000 rupees more.
Do you think the 2 kWh battery pack is more than 40,000 rupees for you?
It is for us actually. Yeah. Because basically in the battery pack we have to pick something which is very robust, which will give us good amount of warranty and good cycles for the customer. There should be no fire risk. Plus we integrate an IoT data collection model. When we include all these costs, our battery pack is actually coming to more than 40,000.
And what is the warranty you are looking for?
Minimum 3 years warranty. So we want to extend that over time, retrospectively for even customers who purchased before. But basically, to begin with, we are planning a 3-year warranty. Over time, we want to increase that warranty even further.
Are there any terms and conditions in it, in the battery?
No terms and conditions actually. We want to give
unlimited warranty. So this is a rapid fire question for you, and each of you can choose one question. Sure. The first question for you. Mileage or range?
Mileage.
And the next question for you. Peak power or horsepower?
Peak power.
Revolt RV400 or Ultraviolet F77?
Ultraviolet once it comes out.
Nexon EV or MG ZS EV?
Nexon EV.
Ather or Ola?
Ather.
Fast charging or detachable battery?
Detachable battery.
IoT scooter or a key operated scooter?
IoT scooter.
Eco mode or sports mode?
Sports mode.
So you are a 2-year-old startup, and what is your process of dealerships, and what is the process of pre-booking and also the EMI options?
So dealerships we are in the process of setting up. Our first set of dealerships will all be focused only on South India to begin with. We'll launch in Andhra, Telangana, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, these 4 states in the beginning, then later on we will see. Pre-booking, we are planning in our website there will be a pre-booking link where customers can pre-book. So EMI option, we are working with various finance partners. As of now, I'm not able to confirm any EMI options, but hopefully soon we will have some EMI options for customers.
So finally, I would like to ask you, for example, a viewer is watching this video and he have enough money, like up to 75,000 rupees or 80,000 rupees in his pocket. How can he trust this Boom Motors and spend that money to buy this first electric scooter?
The trust will come automatically when they visit the showroom and ride the vehicle. The vehicle is our child. We cannot talk great about our child, but when we hear someone say good about our child, we are happy.
I'm very confident. It's unlike anything else. Once somebody tries it, it's unlike any
What
other
are the
vehicle.
3 favorite qualities you like in your child?
So my 3 favorite qualities are that it's a very, very strong and rugged bike. So that is one. Second is,
It's not cute.
it can be cute. You have to dress it up, but otherwise, it's a very strong, rugged bike. Second is honestly the whole battery and charging setup. I think it's much more convenient for the user the way that we have done it. Third thing is that it's a very, very long-lasting bike. So that is separate from the first point. First point is at the moment of time being tough, but long lasting. So I'm sure that we'll have probably the most durable bike in the world. Forget India, in the whole world we'll have probably the most durable electric vehicle. So that's what I'm very proud about.
Given the design to the vehicle, what are the 3 favorite qualities?
The first thing that comes to the mind about our vehicle is the exoskeleton design. That is something that is new to our country, and that favors in many ways. Like we are bold enough and we are courageous to show what is inside. So that itself is one good quality where everyone hides. We are showing it off. Okay, and the next thing is like the same thing has offered us a great amount of flexibility and modularity in design. In the sense, you can see like the number of parts, reduction of number of parts is to a great extent in this vehicle, and we don't have a lot of accessories like what other companies do. Most of the features are part of the chassis, like grab rail or crash guard and sari guard. These are the only 2 accessories in our vehicle. Everything else is integrated with the chassis. So and if you take the front suspension, it is a multi-link suspension which most of the people in the market have forgotten, and we have revived it with latest technology. So this is again another difference, a huge difference between our bike and other bike in the market.
That's a complete interview with the CEO and the CTO, Mr. Anirudh, Mr. Vinod, and hope you have clarified all the doubts about Boom Motors. We need to definitely support the startups in India, and that's only then these startups will boom like anything.
Go green, go electric.